So
Yeah.
okay, so let's start from top. First question: what happened in the last couple of weeks regarding Motherland from your perspective?
Okay, I remember we had one meeting, which I was able to attend, and we talked. We were trying to figure out the next step, the next activity, and I remember that we went around the conference. We went around what we wanted to achieve. Everybody was chipping in their ideas and all that. So eventually, we still had to come back to the question of what exactly do we want to do. So I think can't remember his name now. The elderly man.
Herman.
Yeah, it was the one who rallied everybody back to that question of, okay, this conference, what exactly do we need to do and all that. He advised that we, build a solid foundation even before doing all that. So basically, it was a step forward and a step backward, but I think there was a rich context around it, because I think what we are trying to find is that how do I put it? Now, people have many ideas. People have many, things. People are coming from different angles of what they are doing, how they will contribute to the motherland and all that. But I think it's just still early. We still don't have that core of it. So that's my honest opinion about it. But I see people who are trying to be committed, trying to get something done. But I think the question is what to do, how to do it. I think the first question is what to do. I think that's where everybody's hooked on and trying to figure out. So, and when different opinions come in, it's hard to make progress. So yeah, so that was it for me.
Okay, got it. So regarding next steps, I think you included that a little bit already. Was there anything defined?
Yeah, so the next step was still taken back. I think the next step was, I've forgotten the person who handled the meeting. The next step was we had to I think next step concerning the conference was we made a little progress on that. Then, like I said, we had to go back and around that same question of what we wanted to do. And I think we now took a next step on that. And that was where, the elderly man said we should probably just, okay, some people who came on new were giving their honest opinion, like they actually don't know what other people do and why they're here and all that. So I think we now concluded that people should just chip in on the WhatsApp group, or on the WhatsApp group, what they do. I think we boil down to, we get to know what each other people, each other, and what other person is doing in the space. And I think that's where that's like this progress that I think we made. Yeah.
Okay, then that reflects very much with also what I heard from the others. Let's look at the personal motivation. Why we do take part in Motherland. I'm happy to go first, but also I'm happy to let you go first if you prefer.
Okay, so I think, well, before Motherland, my team and I had the personal motivation to do something in the space of and it kind of like almost, I mean, we've not really gotten a direction as to Motherland, in my opinion, but from what I gathered so far, it's in the same line. So if I'm talking about my personal motivation, and this is generally not just to Motherland or to even to Price Valley. I just want to see a better food system.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that there's a system working, but there's so many so many wrong things about it that can be easily solved over time. So, and I get that the best position to start that from is from the from the consumer,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we are doing with Price Valley. We're about 9 months in now and all that, so we are gradually making some progress. So when I joined the Motherland event that day, I noticed that the motivation is kind of aligned to what I already had in mind. So that's why I was going to contribute to the group and see what becomes of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my personal motivation.
Okay, nice. Okay, so I'm going to share mine, which I know is very aligned with Sebastian's,
Okay.
and that is that we're both very obsessed and concerned with doing things towards making the planet a good place, which means that as humans in the last 100, 200 years, we have on the one hand, for a very small group comparatively on the planet, have created enormous wealth, but on the expense of the planet and most of the other people.
Yeah.
And with this, we are bringing all institutions, all ways of doing things around the planet as humans to the brink of collapse, right? And which means that in the next, well, right now, but also in the next 10, 20 years, we have to reinvent essentially everything we do. And what I've never understood is why are there farmers that have to starve? I mean, that's so ridiculous. I mean, these are the people that are actually growing the food for the rest of the world, and why should they starve? They should be the first to be able to feed themselves. So this leads into a direction of sufficiency, self-sufficiency, self-reliance on a local level, right?
Yeah.
What I see and hope for is that we find ways of organizing, reorganizing the world in such a way that we can become self-sufficient in local chapters, communities all over the globe, but be interconnected. And to me, Motherland is an experiment in trying to understand how and where and in what vertical we can do these types of things in a systematic way from the bottom up, not top down, not coming in with some government and a lot of money and trying to fix something, but actually understanding what the problem is about, having an emergent solution that we can then potentially share with others, which means that it scales very quickly because it actually solves a problem, not only for people on the African continent, but also potentially in Europe, America, Asia, wherever, right? And
yeah.
So as a concrete outcome, in this iteration, I would love to see some sort of a product, and that product can be something, can be just a concept that is open sourced, or it can be a piece of hardware or software or whatever it is, that scales so quickly because it solves a very specific need that it can better the lives of tens or hundreds of millions in the next couple of years, concretely, but at the same time doesn't require enormous funding, so that we can that we can actually run it from the more or less from the ground up. So when there's money or other resources required, then we can find them and we can put them in. But the less of that we need, better. Okay. So that's how I see it as a concrete product coming out of Motherland in this iteration. But what I also see is that is on a meta level that we learn how to run such a process, that we learn how to understand what's going on, understand what's needed, understand how we can really solve this and in a scalable way, and then repeat that process. Repeat that process in other verticals, and repeat that process in other geographies. And so that's like the second order outcome that I'm hoping for. And this is my or also Sebastian's motivation in this.
Okay.
So that leads to the last step, last question. What are the most important next steps? And I just want to propose two, and then I'll shut up and let you share your thoughts on this. But
okay,
the first one is that we have one round with the core group repeating our motivation and expectation, so that everybody's aligned with that. I think this can be done in a pretty brief conversation. I don't think this takes more than half an hour, 45 minutes, something like this. And then just sharing, because I've had this conversation with everybody in the group, and we're all very aligned in what we do. So I don't think there's a lot of discussion necessary. But then as a second step, what I would like to do is to really talk about our understanding of that last step in the post-harvest value chain, because we've never defined that. We somehow say last step, you say last mile, Tawanda says aggregator. We're not clear on this. And because we're not clear on this, we have a hard time defining the next step. So in my view, the next step should be becoming clear on this, what we as a group understand as the last step in the post-harvest value chain, and then we move on.
Okay. So if you put it that way, then there's some sort of direction, because the issue I've had has been that, like you said, everybody's aligned, and we all have this very lofty ideas in mind that we would, like you just explained your motivation and all that, the kind of products you are looking at. I think that's where we want to get to, like getting that product. So anything we have to do to get to that ideal product, because I don't know what exactly to be like. If we did, if we know what that product is, or what like I suggested in that last meeting, that people just write out the problems they are facing in their different geographies, and that might help quicken that. That might help us quicken the questions we need to ask to get to the product we are looking at. Because it's like the product is there, but there's an idea that there's a product that will do something, or like you just explained, what you want to see that product do, but there's a gap to knowing what that product is. But I definitely know that there are solutions abound, but to get solutions, you also need to ask the right questions. So so, and asking the right questions comes from the problems. So if we can talk about problems, or any step that directs to that North Star of the product that you're looking at, a product that's not that's concrete like you defined it, a product that's scalable, that is can be applied right away. I mean, I was watching, I keep forgetting that elderly man's name. He sent a video. Sorry?
Hellman.
Yeah, Hellman. Okay, yeah, he sent a video about a discussion about fixing food systems. Two ladies, I don't know if you saw it, and a man.
I haven't yet. I haven't had time yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So they discussed the problems and some solutions that they came up with. I mean, that they didn't even come back. Some of them were solutions that just came up. Like a woman talked about, smallholder farmers during the COVID that were really hit, that couldn't provide for themselves, and they started sharing, and a good solution came out of that. So, personally, I would think we just need to find the right questions. Then from the right questions, we'll find the right answer, and from there we can, bring up a product, or whichever way it works. Or it might just be research and somebody sees a product somebody's doing somewhere, but it's not well done, and we can, add ideas around it, or that would be my take. I honestly don't know what the next step is, other than looking out for problems, asking the right questions, and trying to get there. That's the way I think that can work. And as long as we are focused on that, I'm sure it will come up somehow, some way.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that essentially you agree with that we have to sharpen our understanding, because only then we can start asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Because so far, I mean, we've started very open, and then we settled on agriculture, and then within agriculture we were also very open. Then we settled on post-harvest, and in post-harvest we were very open, and then we settled on the last step. And now we haven't been able to ask a proper question, and that is probably because we have no definition of what is it, what it is. So yeah, that's so what I would propose is that next week we try and have a call with the entire group and handle those two things, so that we share our personal motivations, and my assumption is that they will be so aligned that we don't have to go into a deeper discussion on the motivation, and then sharpen that point so that we can actually start asking good questions again. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
I think that's the way to go. Yeah.
Right, man. I feel complete for this conversation. So if there's anything else you would like to share, go ahead. Otherwise, I think we're good.
I think I'm good as well. I don't think I have any other thing to add.
All right, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time. Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Yeah.
Bye.